Yes, in this session, we are going to learn about flame photometry, the instrumental method of analysis, particularly the flame photometry. So, it's an instrument have been seen in the laboratory. So, what's the basic principle behind the flame photometry? In this, the inorganic metal ions, certain metal ions concentration can be identified. That is, the species which is used here is in the form of atoms. These atoms, with an absorption of thermal energy, will go to an excited state with absorbing certain amount of energy. When it return back to the ground state, it emits light in the visible region. So based on the wavelength of spectrum, on the amount of light which is emitted, we can able to determine its concentration. So the metals dissociate due to the thermal energy with the flame source. So the atoms can excite to a high energy level. The high energy level is not a stable state. So after a fraction of a second, it will come down to the ground state. So absorption of light takes to an excited state, and subsequent loss of energy will make the atoms or electron to move to the ground state, so which will release a light in the visible region of the spectrum. So the absorption of light is due to the excitation, and the emission of light is due to the atoms which moves from high energy state to the low energy state. So based on the wavelength emitted, the specific element can be identified. Sodium has certain amount of wavelength which will emit in a yellow region. Like that, each and every element will have that. So in your high secondary school practicals, you will be doing this experiment. You will be taking a small amount of salt in a glass plate, mixing with a little amount of hydrochloric acid, taking the salt in a stick, and you have been throwing into the flame. If it is calcium, the flame will be in a brick red color. If it is barium, it will be green. So strontium, it will be a crimson red. Yes, so these kind of things are some basic examples to understand the flame photometry. So this typical diagram, so one side there is a flame, and the solution of the chemical analyte is supplied to another part here. So compressor is here. So compressor will pushes the air. Here the sample is here. The sample contains certain metals. The sample will be moving towards air, and it will burn along with the fluid. The flame will be here. Okay. Then there is a monochromator. The monochromator filters the light. The electronic control. So these will observe the amount of or the wavelength which is emitted by this particular ion. It is recorded, identified. So what are the parts as we see it? One is a source of flame. The flame is a burner which maintains some constant temperature. Then nebulizer and mixing chamber, which helps for the homogeneous flame with a steady rate. An optical system. The optical system, there is a filter, that is convex mirror lens filter, which helps to transmit the light and focus to a particular frame. We have a slit, though it will isolate the wavelength to be measured. Then photodetector, which detects the emitted light and measures the intensity of the radiation of the flame. The emitted radiation is converted to electrical signals with the help of a photodetector, which converts this into an electrical signal. The produced electrical signals are directly proportional to the intensity of light. Then there is can be measured. So first the solvent gets evaporated. leaving the fine divided solid particles. The solid particles move towards the flame, get the gaseous flames, and ions are produced. The ion absorbs the energy from the flame and goes to an excited state. Then the atom will come to the ground state with the emission of some characteristic radiations in particular wavelength. The intensity of the emitter wavelength is directly related to the concentrations, so it is measured by the photodetector. So where do we apply these kind of flame photometer? So there is qualitative and quantitative applications. So with the help of the flame photometer, the metal samples, the amount of metal or type of metal which is present in a particular solution can be identified. So if we have a water sample, we can take a groundwater and we can inject it and we can identify what are the metals that is present in the groundwater, which helps to determine the alkaline and alkaline earth metals. So you can able to identify the ions which is present in the soil which is required for cultivation, agricultural purpose, fertilizer analysis, soil testing. We can use this. Clinically, sodium, potassium ions in the body fluid, muscles, and blood serum, diluting that. So we can find this in soft drink, fruit juices. We can find whatever the type of ions can present in that. So there's a lot of applications. Advantages: here's the qualitative analysis, quantity. We can identify what type of metal is present here, and we can also identify that how much amount it is present. So it is inspecting. That's a very simple instrument with a low cost. It's not just has a simple procedure, only just the injection of a sample into the things. So determination of alkaline earth metals is a more reliable and convenient method. We can easily measure within the simple measurements like ppm and ppb, parts per million and parts per billion ranges. So apart from this, there are some disadvantages. The concentration of metal ion cannot be accurately measured. We can measure that, not a proper accurate method. Okay, higher concentration solutions cannot be properly determined by this. Molecular structure information cannot be identified, only the type of metal which is present can be identified. Elements like carbon, hydrogen, halides cannot be detected due to the non-radiating nature. Here remember, alkaline and alkaline earth metals can be determined or can be identified. Carbon, hydrogen, halides are non-radiative metal ions, so we can't easily determine those things by these methods. So thank you. This is a flame photometry. In next class we discuss another analytical technique.